promise when we come home, trouble ain't looking for it. Why the fuck these niggas always playing act like they looking for it? Someone said right with me that day. How you home in 9 days? I had 3 best friends, 2 was friends, the other one was just days. My jet tank full, let's fill all the ups up with shots. Anything we wanted, we got it straight up the block.
Hey, real quick, I just want to shout out the YouTube channel BWC Entertainment, right? Their banner is sick and I love it, and I love you all's name because it really like stands out. And granted, they kind of just started their YouTube channel, right? Everybody has to start from somewhere, but what I love mostly about you all's content right now, like your channel right now, is that the fact that between Chris, LD, and Kobe, y'all chemistry is off the chart. Also, they're not going to be sticking to like one thing. They're going to have a little bit of everything for everybody so everybody can enjoy, right? And that's what's up. That's dope. That's awesome. To be honest, I'm ready for what you guys have planned, ready for this channel. Because you already got my love. You already got my support, right? So I'm going to put a link in the description box of this video. And I'm going to pin the link in the comment section of this video of their channel. So y'all can go ahead and check them out. Go support them. Go subscribe. Because it's greatness come. That's all I'm saying. Oh, and the earth is round. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, go ahead and check them out. Sup? No. You got all of that.
Footsteps echo against concrete. Reverberating sounds that resemble palpitating thuds of a heartbeat. What spectators among us? Is it he who prowls upon the harmless? Or worse? We discuss he who stalks both daylight and darkness, trudging limb and torso down dim paths, never to be seen but only felt in wrath. A presence fiercely foreboding, a dire fate shall be cast on those blindly roaming. Check behind and around. Do you see it?
I see cluckers.
Can you sense it? Don't make sound.
I'm here for it though. Daily dose of creeps. Let's go.
This is Daily Dose of Creeps. Welcome to episode 3. 4 subscriber horror stories. If you'd like to submit your own story for review, go to the About section on this channel. There you'll find my email address and all other social media links. Also, quickly before we start, I'm trying to join the YouTube Partnership Program. I'll be eligible for this once I hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 public watch hours. Pretty sure we can do this by next month. Helping me reach this goal would mean more videos. And more importantly, higher quality videos. All you need to do to help is to watch to the end of the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Likes are also very much appreciated. Let's begin. Story 1.
All right.
Close to Death.
You got it.
Submitted by Margaret Callow.
This woman right here in the background looked like Margaret. Why'd I say it like that?
On June 11th, 1969, I was pregnant with my daughter Rosa.
Okay.
The pregnancy was not an easy one, but I was due soon and I could not wait to see my baby. This was my 4th little girl and I was very excited to meet her. While tending to the other 3 rugrats, I went to the bathroom for the 100th time that day. I noticed that something wasn't right. I was bleeding. Obviously shaken by this, I immediately called my doctor. And after talking about my symptoms, he quickly called an ambulance to come pick me up. I was taken to the hospital after being diagnosed with placenta previa.
The hell?
My placenta was blocking the birth from occurring naturally.
Oh my God.
I was taken into the emergency room first, and then immediately into the operating room. I was trying my best to calm down in all the chaos, but my head was spinning at the thought of me possibly losing my Rosa. Because I was hemorrhaging, they decided to give me anesthesia and to perform a cesarean section on me as soon as possible. That itself was scary enough, and I remember hoping desperately that my baby would be okay. Just as they were about to put me under, the anesthesiologist placed his hand gently on my shoulder. The sudden touch made me flinch slightly, and when I turned my head to look at him, I almost cried out when I saw the hand resting on my shoulder was skeletal. Nothing but bone, as though looking at it through an x-ray. The horrible feeling that I had died crossed my mind. I remember gasping in shock after seeing those spindly, bony fingers resting on my arm. And then, everything went dark. That's when the anesthesia must have kicked in. While I was out, I remember being in a tunnel of light. I thought I was dreaming, but it all felt so real. Beyond that brilliant glow, right at the end of the tunnel, shadowy figures were gesticulating desperately with their hands, almost telling me to go back. I couldn't see who they were, or hear anything from them. All I could see was their hands, waving at me wildly from beyond the light. The whole time I felt distinctly weightless, as though I had no control of my body.
Oh my God.
And I started moving towards them. When I looked down, I couldn't see anything below my feet. Just light, like a strange mist swirling around me. It was almost as though I was walking on thin air. I had no idea where I was, or what was happening, or who these people were. It was a place of light and shadow, indistinct and hazy. There was an overwhelming feeling of dread as my body got closer and closer to the shadowy figures. I tried to start kicking and screaming, but my cries were muffled, and my body was stuck in a rigid loop of walking towards the light beyond my control.
Hey, real quick, that's kind of creepy. This right here, you cannot, like, shit. Look, man, bruh, if I ever wake up and I see that, I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, that's scary as shit. You cannot tell me right now you waking up and that's the first thing you see? Blurry as shit. Like, this whole scene right here, you not gonna be scared? I'm gonna be scared shitless. Like, what the hell am I looking at? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Then, as quickly as a flip of a switch, the next thing I knew, I woke up in recovery. The nurses all looked very grave, and the doctor told me afterwards that I had been very close to death, and that it was a miracle that me and the baby managed to survive. I know it was probably just the anesthesia that caused those dreams, but at the time it was very scary, and even now I can't forget the experience. I have to wonder if perhaps it was something more.
It was. You didn't have that dream just cause. I feel like every dream that people have is for a reason. Just like everything happens for a reason, you have dreams for a reason. You may not know what that dream means at that certain point in time, but that was a very vivid and specific dream, I think. It goes down deeper than what I think it is. Maybe you got something else going on in your personal life. I don't know. You should definitely get that checked out ASAP. Fuck.
Story 2. The Man in the Cab.
You got it.
Submitted by Cynthia Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
This happened to me sometime in the 80s. I was working as a hairdresser in downtown Wall Street. It was always a nightmare trying to flag down a yellow cab, especially one willing to take me home all the way down to Washington Heights, 191st in Wadsworth. As soon as you told them you were going all the way uptown, they just drove off. Your best bet of getting a ride was just to open the door and get in before they could ask where you're going.
Wow.
So that's what I did one night after work. It must have been around 10 o'clock, and it was pretty dark outside. The moment the cab pulled up, I slid into the back seat and told the driver where I was headed. As I predicted, he seemed upset about having to go all the way uptown, but I ignored him. I pretended to fuss with my bag, so he just started driving.
Why would anybody be mad at that? You're making money.
I noticed we were going unusually slow, despite the lack of traffic at this time. We'd barely reached West Side Highway when he started jerking the wheel left and right. And he was saying he was having trouble with the car. He needed to pull over to check under the hood. I couldn't hear anything.
In a dark ass alley? In a dark ass alley. Nigga.
Nothing wrong with the car. I thought it was really weird the way he was moving the wheel like that. And at this point, I was starting to feel somewhat uneasy about the whole situation. Especially since he pulled over on a completely deserted road, out of sight of the main highway. He got out of the car and opened the hood while I waited in the back. I looked to my left and I noticed a group of prostitutes walking down the sidewalk. And they all seemed to be on something. They looked like zombies. After that, I noticed a beat-up old car moving very, very slowly past us. This isn't the area I wanted to be in. After a few minutes, I leaned forward to see what was taking him so long. What happened next sent chills down my spine. Through the front window, I could see the man crouched down, looking straight at me. He wasn't working at all. He had just been staring at me this whole time. At that point, I got the horrible suspicion that this cab driver was not quite who he seemed. And I began to brainstorm about how I was going to get away. There was nowhere to run, so I just made a quick plan. The next car to come by, I was just going to jump out into the street and call for help. Even if I got hit, I figured it'd be better than what might happen if I stayed alone with this strange man. Someone must have been watching over me, because as soon as I had that thought, I saw lights coming down the road. I grabbed my purse and I swung open the door and stepped out.
What?
The car skidded to a stop, barely inches away from me, and a man shouted if I was crazy in Spanish. His Dominican accent felt so familiar to me, as though a member of my family came to save me. Even with the lights glaring in my face, I could see it was one of those gypsy cabs that you found around Washington Heights. I told the driver that I thought this man was going to harm me, and asked if he could drive me back to my job a couple of minutes away. The driver glanced at the man behind me, still stood in the hood, staring at me, and told me to jump in. Without a second thought, I slid into the back of the gypsy cab and shut the door. He asked me where I lived, and I told him that I lived in Washington Heights. He told me that he works uptown, so he'll just drive me home. The whole time, the other cab driver didn't say a word. He didn't even demand that I pay for the amount on the meter. He just stood by the car the whole time, staring at me, this time with a strange half smile on his face as we drove away.
Oh my God.
The creepiest moment was when I saw the cab driver close his hood, get into his car, and drive away. Who knows what this guy had planned to do with me if the gypsy cab driver didn't show up. I think it's best not to think about it.
But you already are thinking about it. It's gonna haunt you to the day you die. Relax.
Story 3. Paying the Devil.
Aha.
Submitted by Mateo R.
Mateo! Heyo!
During my second years in E3, FN, or Navy fireman, myself and my unit, along with 130-something other sailors, were set up on an Arleigh-Burke destroyer for routine fire training. This would take place over 3 nights aboard the vessel, doing regular PT, first responder training, emergency medical classes, as well as the usual rigmarole that goes into our daily lives as enlisted sailors.
The fucking wreck fell on my good head. Am I supposed to jerk off to your mother now?
Carter,
Fucking medic.
an E1 from New York, was one of the most obnoxious and obscene children I have ever had the pleasure of working with during my time in the Navy. He was the type of kid that would say the most disgusting things to people just to get a reaction. And more times than not, we all hated that part of his personality. This granted him the nickname of New York Dumpster Mouth, or Dumpster for short. But as luck would have it, you can't really do much about a person's shit personality if he can perform his job well enough to keep himself in the ranks. My drill instructor would say, embrace the suck, rather than bitch about it. So we all did. After a 12-hour day on deck, in full wet gear and dive equipment, I could not wait to hit the mess hall and do my rack for the night. But in true Navy fashion, that promise of normal creature comforts were soon set on fire as our CO gave me and another sailor the tedious task of inventorying one of the medical bays. Guess who my partner was for this amazing task? You guessed it, Dumpster. Fuck, man. We spent the next few hours pulling out every single piece of equipment, medicine, and disposable in that entire med bay to log it, only to be put right back, probably never to be used until the next step had to inventory it. All the while, Dumpster running his mouth about anything and everything. I was able to block him out with a little mantra I picked up from a buddy in boot camp. Don't think, just do. Don't think, just do. I must have said it a million times that night. As the evening dragged on, mantra in my head and the raspy New York accent of Carter rattling on, something broke the haze of the trance I was in. Carter's voice saying, Satanism. This took me by surprise, as I was not the most devout religious person, but knew that just sounded wrong to me. What are you talking about? Carter began explaining that he was involved in some congregation of people who practiced this cult-like faith, and how he saw things of a dark nature. I was interested mainly because I didn't know much about it, but also because I just wanted time to pass by. Also,
But why would you? But hold on. Why would you want to talk about anything dark? That's what you clocked up at.
Dumpster. I figured as usual he was just trying to get a reaction out of me. But something about that conversation was different, though. He seemed so calm about it all. Not bragging or boasting. Almost like this was the first time he had ever told the truth about anything in front of another human being. Finally, after a full belly and lukewarm shower, I was ready to slip into an exhaustion coma for the next few hours until PT the next morning. I woke up to what sounded like a large pillow full of sand falling into the cement floor. When I staggered to my feet, I could see and hear a bunch of people shuffling over to the opposite side of the sleeping quarters. It was Carter. He was in a full seizure. Mouth foaming and his body was thrashing like he was on fire. All of us allowed the first 3 men that got to him work to stabilize and assess what steps to take next. Another 2 men went to grab our CO, commanding officer, and some supplies at the med bay. As quick as it started, it was over. He just went limp. 10 straight minutes of resuscitative actions did nothing for Carter. No pulse, no breathing, no reaction to light on his eyes. All I could think was that he was so young. His poor mother. We all worked to get his now lifeless body onto the transport gurney, to have him taken off ship, as we all spoke in muffled silence about what had happened and all of our own medical diagnoses of what occurred. Suddenly, Carter's body started shaking violently again.
Yeah, alright. Oh my
He was
God.
thrashing so hard that one of his tie-down straps gave way and snapped like an old rubber band. His eyes were wide open and as white as snow, and his mouth was open as if his jaw was unhinged. As the CO and another sailor were about to start working on him again, Carter screamed out in a deep, raspy yell. Let me go! Get off!
Oh my God.
Then he just stopped. Limp again. No pulse, no breath, no reaction to light on his eyes.
So we just saying.
Just like the first time.
It shouldn't have been the second time. Clark
The rest of the early morning was just a haze of questions about what we all saw, and getting yelled at by our COs regarding our inability to recognize a dead person from a living one. And the next morning, PT was canceled for obvious reasons. But we were assured that the rest of our training would go on as usual, after the mess has been cleaned up. Thanks, CO. Good to know that we're a mess to you if we die. I never mentioned anything Carter had said to me in that med bay. The conversation about his beliefs regarding Satanism and his congregation he had back home. I didn't see it fit to bring it up when questioned by the naval crime detectives either. Life slowly returned to normal. Our training on the ship completed, and our memories of that night just faded away with the years that passed. After I got out, I took up college to get a degree in the medical field, as I felt my time in the Navy gave me a leg up in the civilian world. Life went on. Every now and then I think about what Carter was screaming that night.
Why?
But my medical mind keeps telling me it was just an explosion of electricity into his synapses that made him see and scream what he did.
My ass.
At least that's what I tell myself. Poor dumpster.
Another one?
Story 4. The Shadow Man.
Right.
My name is Danny, and a few years ago I had a creepy experience in my own home. It was late one night in January, and I was about to go to bed. It was a storm threatening on the horizon, and the weather had predicted snow, so it was likely school would be canceled the next day. I spent an hour or so watching videos on YouTube until I started to feel tired, so I decided to call it a night. I took my headphones off and got up to close the closet door since it was slightly ajar.
Why was it? Why? Why was it slightly ajar? Why was it slightly ajar? It shouldn't have been slightly ajar. Or nothing ajar. It should have been closed all the way, gate! What the fuck is wrong with me? What? Oh, that was creepy.
Then I put my headphones back on and listened to some music on Spotify. I don't usually listen to music before bed since it's hard for me to fall asleep that way. But I figured since there's no school tomorrow, it didn't matter. I turned off the light and settled down in bed, listening to my music, hoping to fall asleep. After a few minutes, I started tossing and turning, trying to get comfortable, but I felt strangely restless. I thought I'd be getting no sleep that night, but after what felt like a few hours, though it had only been one, I finally started to drift off. Barely an hour later, I jolted back awake. Something had woken me up, but I wasn't sure what. It took a moment for my eyes to adjust to the darkness, and then I saw someone. In the corner of the room was a silhouette, tall and gangly, as though a person was standing there. Panicking, I jumped out of bed and ran out of the room without looking back, slamming the door behind me and heading straight to my parents' room. I shook my dad's shoulder to wake him up, and he looked at me groggily, asking what was wrong.
Daddy, wake up.
What's the matter, baby?
There's someone in my room.
I tried telling what I saw. Almost as soon as I said it, the hallway light switched on outside the room. For a couple seconds, we both stared at the hallway. Frowning, my dad got out of bed and told me to wait there while he went to go switch it off. I ended up following him anyway. As we stepped out into the hallway, we both saw it.
Oh my God.
The shadow figure from my room.
Oh my God, it's still there?
It must have been about 7 feet tall.
Oh my God.
Towering over us. Featureless. We were both frozen in fear, even after it disappeared. Then when I was finally able to move, I turned to my dad and asked him if he saw what I saw. He told me yeah, but that it was probably just the lighting acting up and that he would check it in the morning.
What the hell?
He said I can go to his room if I felt too scared to sleep alone. So I did, up until I felt like the coast was clear. I headed back to my room. By this point I was exhausted and I fell asleep as soon as I hit the pillow. The next thing that happened is what still scares me to this day just thinking about it. Hey! I jolted awake and I screamed when I heard the laughter. Then I woke up again. I was covered in sweat and my head was fuzzy. At that moment I realized it was a nightmare. All of it. At least I thought.
It was not.
It was so confusing, but I was desperately thirsty. So I got out of bed and went downstairs to get some water and a snack from the kitchen.
Oh shit.
As I was walking, something moved right past me.
Oh my shit. Give me a second. Daily dose of creeps. Just give me a second. Oh my God.
It was the same shadow figure from that night. It was standing in the corner of the room. All I can think to do was to look back down and pretend I didn't see it. I left the kitchen and went back to my room. I still don't know what caused me to have that dream, or if I really did see the figure in the kitchen afterwards. But I can't get it out of my head, and I'm starting to wonder if the dream has since turned into reality.
It has. It always has been reality. God. Jesus.
Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. This one took me so long to make. That upload button is going to feel so good to press. I'd like to thank all the supporters who waited this long so patiently. I feel like until this channel actually blows up, which it will, I have faith, I should just change the name to Monthly Dose of Creeps. Because this is some bullshit. Seriously though, I think we'll get there. One day I do believe we'll make Daily Dose of Creeps daily. Eventually I think we'll branch out to all things dark. True crime, actual footage, top 10s, all that jazz. I'd love to one day put all that in between these episodes. My peeps need all the creeps they can get. So keep liking, keep commenting, keep subscribing, keep sharing. And if you're a reactor on YouTube, keep reacting. I'm not one of those guys that don't like reactors reacting to their videos. I actually encourage it. It's just awesome to see live reactions of what I worked so hard on. So shout out to all these guys who did it. I'll put their links in the description.
Hey.
Also, if you have a favorite reactor, feel free to go contact them and let them know about Daily Dose of Creeps. So once again, thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the kind comments. I haven't been replying to them as much as I'd like to, so I'll try to change that. I just have to learn how to take compliments. I'll see you next time. Later.
Wait, what? What? Man. That's funny. For the most part, is that reaction time? I don't know. For the most part, I know all of these YouTubers. I don't know them like that. But yeah. Gattor unlocked. Oh, is that Tyrone at the bottom? I like the outro music. It's soothing. I like it. I cannot snap, but I like to pretend I can. Question: Daily Dose of Creeps. If you come across my reaction for this video, right? Are you using like real people, or are you using like stock footage? I just want to know that because there's no. Hold on, cancel. Yeah, I just wanted to know that because it looks really good, and I feel like every video that you make, you are getting better and better and better. And yeah, your videos and how you edit, and the I forgot the other word. I don't know how to say it, but like, your content, I guess. Like how you make your videos, it's high quality already. Like I love it. So I can only imagine when you do finally monetize your channel, and you just like I don't know, like it's gonna be crazy. Like in a couple months. That fart was crazy. Probably or in a couple weeks, you know. But you definitely, oh my God. Yeah, Daily Dose of Creeps. I like that name though. I like that name, Daily Dose of Creeps. I don't know why you're not already monetized. You should be. But I get it why YouTube does that. What is it? 4,000 watch hours and over 1,000 views? I mean, or over 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers. I don't know. But I get why they do that. It's just, for some people, it takes them a very long time to get to that many subscribers and to get that many watch hours. But I feel like you should have started off monetizing. But yeah, that's how I feel. I don't really know which one took the cake. I think all of these are really good, but that last one was keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy, my family. What?